Hello, ladies and gentlemen, manifestors, creators, masters. This is Javier with The Real Javier Novoa, a channel, a network, and a complete modality where we apply the principles of spirituality, philosophy, mysticism, and business to rapid lifestyle transformation. And I'm really excited today, ladies and gentlemen, because I have been working over about the past 3 days or so. I've basically dropped most of my commitments and I've been working on the network. I've been working on The Real Javier Novoa, a new phase of The Real Javier Novoa, a new rollout of the channel and of my consulting business, JN Consulting. And we are releasing a website. I'm going into several new campaigns that are going to expose us in a new way to a wider audience. And the mission is to get this information out to as many people as possible. This is my passion. And I'm planning on dedicating myself full time to this in the very near future. No more than 6 months to a year, I'm going to be dedicating myself full time to this. And we're going to be having other members come on board. We're going to be having more expanded material, and I'm going more all in on our coaching program, which is changing lives and which is going to become even more fantastic, even more amazing. So please do subscribe to the channel. Email me if you haven't to sign up for a coaching call, because I walk you hand in hand using time-tested formulas in my years of business and consulting, and the study and application and testing of all of this material to give you a power punch for your life and for your rapid lifestyle transformation. So I really appreciate all of you subscribing. I appreciate you sharing the videos. I appreciate you commenting. And we appreciate all of the good thoughts and the imaginations and the focusing that you give for us, because it is my pleasure and is my position to serve you for many years to come in this modality and to help in this great awakening that's going on throughout the world. Today is going to be an amazing video, ladies and gentlemen, because it's a principle that I've wanted to touch on for a long time. It's a principle that other spiritual teachers have touched on, but I don't think it has been applied in a direct way and in the particular way that we're going to apply and explain it in this video. And that is, ladies and gentlemen, the implementation of the opposite in order to achieve your objective or your desire. That's right. What do I mean by this? What I mean by this is that there's a certain set of circumstances in which, for whatever reason, you have enough resistance against focusing on what you desire. Perhaps it's something that you've wanted for a long time. Perhaps it's something that you ascribe high importance to. And especially Vadim Zeland in Reality Transurfing goes into ascribing importance to something and how that can be a barrier to manifestation. Or perhaps it's something that you just think over you. What you can do is you can apply a thought that's in exact 180-degree opposition to your attainment of that objective and obtain it faster. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. You can actually say, for example, let's just give an example. Let's say you're after an SP, because I've gotten a lot of emails in the past few days about SP or specific person. And of course, I have a lot of experience in this. I have attained my specific person. And I did it by implementing a lot of the methodologies that we will go into continually on this channel about that. But let's say you're trying to manifest an SP. And let's say that person is just 180 degrees opposed to anything to do with you. This person may have put a poster up on the wall, let's just say figuratively speaking, saying, "I will never be with you, I can't stand you, stay away from me." And of course, we never encourage someone to take any action on the physical to get with a person like that, because that just increases the other person's resentment and hatred. In fact, the more scarce you make yourself, and the more, shall we say, non-committal and non-caring that you make yourself, the more you attract that person. This is nothing to do with law of attraction or law of assumption on the surface, although it is, but this is taught by many dating coaches and so on and so forth. But let's just use that example. So you have a lot of despair already towards this person. You might even feel hatred towards this person, because how could that person reject you so crassly? How could that person not see any value in what you have to bring to the table? And of course you have a lot to bring to the table. So what can you do in that situation? Now every time you're trying to even imagine it or focus on it or get into the state, it's admixed with these feelings of hatred, with these feelings of resistance, and with these feelings of fear, because it's been so long. And of course, if it's been so long in the physical, that's more proof that this is not for you and that you should just move on. Well, hold on a second. Here's when you can now apply this process. You can say, I will never be with this person. And in fact, you can keep repeating that to yourself. I will never be with this person. And then you can ask yourself, okay, what if I will never be with this person? What's the worst that could happen? And usually when you boil it down, it's not too bad. Now, of course, in more grave circumstances, we can go into that. That could be very bad. But what you do is you resign yourself to the fact that you will not be with this person, and then you resolve yourself to dealing with whatever consequences are there, and then you can start making that consequence better. Well, what if I will never get with this person? Well, then I'll feel lonely, or I'll feel like a failure. Well, okay, what can I do? Well, maybe I can start dating other people. Of course, there's another person out there who you might not be as attracted to, but will be glad to go out with you, and who will be attracted to you. And you can use that as sort of a way to smooth out the situation as sort of a stepping stone. Ironically, what this does is it allows your resistance to come down so much that the universe is then able to deliver you your objective in exactly the terms that you wanted when you least expect it. So where did I get this primarily? We got this from Neville Goddard, the great teacher, the spiritual teacher Neville Goddard. What he would do with his beginning students, and this is apocryphal, but it makes perfect sense. And I tried this. I did this for myself, and we're going to explain what happened later. But what he told his students, he said, you need to do this, and if you don't do this, nothing that I tell you is going to mean a lot. But if you do this process, you will prove this to yourself, and then you can come to our next courses and so on. And only the people who completed this would be invited to his next courses. And I'd invite you to try this, by the way. Of course, we're not going to make it that restrictive, and there might be some resistance associated with that. But I would invite you to try this, because it's something that's not of great importance. And we're going to go into importance as well. So what he said is, what Neville said to his students is, I want you to write on pieces of paper where you can see it. I want you to repeat to yourself every single day, I will not climb a ladder. I will not climb a ladder. I want you to repeat that to yourself every single day, whenever you look at your mirror when you're getting ready in the morning, whenever you go to your dresser, your commode. I want you to say, I will not climb a ladder. And your intent, you're not going to climb a ladder. Your intent that you're not going to do that. But what I want you to do, he said, is before you go to sleep, I want you to do this for a certain number of nights. I believe it was like 3 nights. And I did this, by the way, for 7 nights. But he said, every night before you go to sleep, I want you to imagine in your mind's eye that you're climbing a ladder. And I want you to take your imaginary hand, and I want you to put it on a rung of that ladder, and I want you to take your imaginary foot and put it on the other rung of that ladder. And then I want you to climb that ladder in your imagination. I want you to do it until you fall asleep. And people would do this. And ironically, what will happen is you will climb a ladder. And I did this, by the way. I didn't write a bunch of things down, but I did tell myself I will not climb a ladder. I will not climb a ladder. And I was intent upon this. I remember this was years ago. And I actually did this. I said, okay, let's try this. So I imagined myself for about 7 days before I went to sleep climbing a ladder. And I worked in a pharmacy at the time, and I was working on pharmacy technology. And so I didn't do a lot of physical work and so on and so forth, so it would have been very rare. But after 7 days, I sort of forgot about this. Then one day, the pharmacist said, hey, I need to go back so that we could, to the back of the store so we could get some pharmacy records. And lo and behold, there was a ladder there, and I had to climb the ladder to get at some of those records. And it was only after I climbed the ladder and got the records that I remembered, oh my God, I climbed a ladder. And this was basically one of those turning points and trigger points that drove this whole methodology of creation by focus, of creation by imagination to me, and basically encouraged me to go all in. And of course, I studied this with many teachers. If you try this, you're going to do this. It's going to come to you in a way that you don't expect, and you're going to shock yourself. So, you can take this principle and apply it to every single principle in your life. And why is that? Because, ladies and gentlemen, the universe does not hear no. When you focus on something, for the universe, whether you say, please come to me, I want this, or do not come to me, I don't want this thing, all the universe hears is this thing. So when you're trying to escape something, that thing will come to you. And when you're focusing on something and getting that vibration, that thing will come to you. And it's not about words at all, it's about vibration. That's why a lot of people in Law of Attraction are afraid to use negative terminology, and they're afraid to imagine the worst case scenario. But what you must realize is that it's not imagination. It is not words that attract to you. It's not thoughts that attract to you, ladies and gentlemen. It's not. It's not feelings that attract. It's vibration that attracts. Get this. So, for example, let me give you an example. Let's say you're in a business and your business is about to fail. You're thinking about that business failing, so you're already attracting it by thinking about it, because night and day you're thinking about it. So what we recommend our students to do, they can't just go and think about something else. Now, if you can think about something else, that's even better. Think about something else and just allow good to come to you, and then you can eventually have that negative vibration blotted out and replaced by new vibrations. But if it's something that's in your face every day that you can't stop thinking about, like your business failing, you're there every day, what we encourage students to do is just like it says in the good old book, How to Stop Worrying and Start Living. You imagine the worst case scenario, and then you prepare yourself to accept that. And a good way to do that is, and this is what we teach our students, and I've had a lot of success with this, you imagine the worst case scenario and you practice yourself into it until you feel okay about it, until it just feels boring to you. Then you go further and you even teach yourself to love the worst case scenario. Why does this work? Because it's not what you imagine or what you say or what you think about a scenario. It's your vibrations around the scenario. So if you've accepted the worst possible case of that scenario, what does that mean? You have a good vibration around that scenario. And because there's no duality, you follow me? Because there's no duality, only the good can come to you when you're vibrating good around a scenario. So let's say you're about to lose your house. If you're afraid of losing your house, you're vibrating negatively around that scenario. Therefore, you'll probably lose your house. But if you can now accept the loss of your house and even love it, either you will not lose your house, or you will bounce back and you'll have something even better to go to or equal to the vibration you were focusing on. Know this well. So that's why you can use negative or positive techniques depending on your vibration, and the negative techniques are good for breaking through lower vibrations and lower levels on the emotional scale. The other main point is when you want something very fervently, you give it a lot of importance. And Vadim Zeland explains importance in reality transurfing. When you give something a high amount of importance, that means that you're implying that you really need it. Extreme need is a bad vibration. Therefore, that vibration is attracting to you the opposite and pushing that away. Well, by saying, you know what, I'll never get this, and then accepting the fact that you'll never get it, you're diminishing the importance. And what does that do? Your desire never goes away because that's vibrational. That's already in the vibrational escrow that Abraham Hicks talks about that. You don't need to do anything to get to that desire. You just need to stop getting in your way. So it's this negative process that gets you out of your own way. And it's a great process, and it works every single time. And I have tons of testimonials in my own life and in the lives of my clients about it. It's just like giving up, but it's an even more powerful vibration of, you know what, I am whole, I'm complete, and I don't need this. That's why Vadim Zeland said in reality transurfing, you have this affirmation: if I get what I want, great. And if I don't get what I want, even better. And oftentimes you realize that it's not that thing that you desired anyway, but it's the emotional resonance and the state that is created by your thinking about that thing, by your flowing attention to that thing. These are all just points for us to flow our attention and our focus. So that's why the negative imagining and the opposite method really works, and it's really powerful, ladies and gentlemen. It's not, I compare it to an atomic weapon in the sense of that it's so effective at manifestation, it makes it a lot quicker. Another thing to realize is that when you say, I will not get it, you're not declaring that for all of the universe, you're only declaring that for this film role. And that's not lying, because if you're in a film role where you think you will not get something, then you will not get it on that film role. But then very quickly, when you release that energy, you can allow yourself to move and illuminate another film role where you already have that. And you can use both of these techniques. You can say, I will not get it. Then when you feel a little bit better, you can imagine yourself on that other film role as surrounded by the events that are already on that film roll. Because all film rolls are within you, and all infinite potential is within you. So note this process that I'm giving you and utilize it. It is a great tool. Anything that you're having a hard time getting, or anything that you're not able to focus on without feeling negative emotion, say, you know what? I will not get that. And I'm okay with not getting that. And then, or a worst case scenario. Say, if you're going to lose your house, say, okay, I'm going to lose my house, and then imagine that until you feel calm with that. And I promise you, it is all about the vibration around that topic. It's not about the images you use. It's not about the words you use. So, ladies and gentlemen, the process of the opposite. I want you to try it. I want you to give me your testimonials and prepare for your life to explode. We really appreciate it, ladies and gentlemen. We will be making more videos this weekend about rapid lifestyle transformation. So until very soon, with much love and appreciation, this is Javier. I'll see you tomorrow.